Presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention. Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Prime Time. Featuring Joe C.
I would clean that bone about as good as anything.
Matt Hayes.
The guys they had last year, terrible.
And Leon Searcy.
Mama know that when you get to camp, you ain't gonna see a lot of Big Daddy.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Welcome in, hump day. You've got half of your week gone, another half to try and make it all come together. Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday. We are minus Big Searcy today. He's got the day off. He will be back tomorrow. But we are flying and ready to rock and roll from 2 to 4 this afternoon right here on XL Primetime. Golf Club of Southampton will be cranking later on with the 9 after 5. Be telling you all about that. As we go along today, we still have some chatter around the OTAs. You just heard one of the sound bites from the coaches that are pretty excited about new faces, new possibilities, getting guys in camp, and we'll definitely be talking about all of them as we go along today. But last night, the association, game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, you've got an opportunity, and this is now the second time in consecutive series that the Indiana Pacers have come down to the wire with an opportunity to steal a game on the road. I'll remind everybody, we had our conversation yesterday about game 1, Boston versus Indiana. The Pacers were a 9.5-point dog, Matt.
I thought it was going to be a rout.
9, yeah, you thought they'd cover. Leon thought they'd cover. I'm like, that smells like you probably should take the points.
But then I forgot that this is Boston we're talking about, and if we've learned anything in the last 3 years, this team is, you want to talk about a bipolar team, man. Well, honestly. Yeah. They are up and down and up and down and up and down.
They're an enigma, as my buddy Dicko likes to say. You just don't know who they are half the time. And so, yeah, you're right. And Jaylen Brown, who at times has not been able to take advantage of the moment, hits a huge shot at the end of regulation, takes it to overtime. They basically take care of business in overtime. Jason Tatum ends up with 36 points. And let's bring in open gym RJ Saunders into this conversation because he was kind of quiet throughout the course of this game, and superstars can't be quiet, especially when you're trying to actually win a championship with this Jaylen and Jason collective. And both of those guys finally came up big in the end of this game.
Absolutely, and that's one of the big questions that you have when it comes to a guy like Jason Tatum. When you're talking about faces of the NBA, this guy is on the best team, but we don't really look at this guy as potentially being that next generation face of the NBA once guys like LeBron, Steph, and Kevin Durant leave. However, he scores 10 points in the overtime period. That was much needed. However, he did go a long stretch in that fourth quarter where he did not hit a field goal. Nope. I think he went 0 for 4. So for him to be able to bounce back in that overtime was really big for the Boston Celtics because I could only imagine the headlines if they would have dropped game 1 at home.
You know what it is? It's not that he was 0 for 4. It's that where was he on the floor?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's okay. Like, if you're not hitting shots, that's fine, but make an impact elsewhere on the floor. And that's the biggest problem I have with him, and Brown to an extent too, is those guys, when they get lost, they get lost. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why the Celtics are so up and down, man.
Yeah, they're very, very unpredictable. They do have a deep bench. They do have a lot.
A way better roster than the Pacers. Yeah. If you go roster to roster, it's not close. Am I not right, RJ?
Well, no, you're absolutely right. I'll also say this. You heard it during the halftime. The Celtics were trying to make this an up-and-down game to keep up with the Indiana Pacers, and that's not their style of play. If they're going to do that again, I'm sure Indiana's going to figure something out to where they're going to be able to close out the game a lot better than they did in game 1. Boston plays a game that's a lot more chopped up. It's a lot more slowed down. You got two guys in Brown and Tatum, and also Kristaps Porzingis when he's in. Mm-hmm. They like playing a lot of back-to-the-basket basketball and playing that inside-out style of play. They can't keep up with Indiana if they're going to make this an up-and-down game.
Yeah, they can run. They do have a tough time defending if they aren't ready in transition. But the other thing is that Halliburton, as good as he's been, he made 3 crucial mistakes down the stretch that could easily haunt him. And also the decision not to make a timeout not to call a timeout at the end. And Carlisle says, I'll take ownership of that, but that was a boneheaded decision by the Pacers when you don't have an inbounds possibility and you make a bad pass and Jaylen Brown gets his arm out in front of it, and then there's the decision, well, who touched it last, and it's called out on Indiana, and then you get to set up that last play. I'm talking it's crazy how it unfolded. They decided to bring the ball up way too fast, didn't have a plan. Halliburton loses the handle on the ball, kind of like Trevor lost the handle on the football in that Monday night game. We were talking about Trevor's turnovers yesterday, and I couldn't help but immediately think of that. No one touched Halliburton, and he just lost it. And then a bad pass, and then getting caught on the boundary, on the line, and fell back. So
I just found myself the entire fourth quarter, I found myself saying, what are the Celtics doing right now? Mm-hmm. They're going to screw around and lose this game. Yeah. And it almost happened in regulation. Yeah. It was just mind-boggling how they can go into such deep of a funk with that good of a roster where they can't get points from anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's almost like they're at the point now, they're at the most important point of the season, second most important point, because the finals are obviously the most important. Mm-hmm. But when you need points, you got to have a guy, okay, he can get us points. It's almost like they don't have that guy right now. And they have two guys who 2 years ago, were considered two of the top 25 players in the league.
Yeah, that's wild. It really is. And they are paid as such, too, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they are paid a ton. All right, so you got that. You could jump in, hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can find us by searching on YouTube for 1010XL. So if you're into the stream, all you got to do is check us out. You can load up YouTube, search 1010XL, and offer a comment. MyBookie Digital Studios, you can jump in there. So you got the association. We need to get back to the Gator conversation we had yesterday with the idea that a player is suing a head coach, potentially, if this lawsuit goes through, suing a head coach for the first time that we can remember. And I want to know what Gator fans are thinking about that. But first, let's hit on that real quick before we get into the Gator discussion.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So this will be a name from the past, but in the present, San Francisco, they are solidifying their coaching staff. And remember, at the end of last year, surprisingly, they let Steve Wilkes go after just 1 year with the team. And Steve Wilkes has got such an interesting resume. He had a chance to be a head coach for a year. He was fired. He goes back to Carolina, gets the interim tag, has a chance maybe to keep the job, doesn't, comes to San Francisco, and basically was let go at the end of 1 year. Well, now, former Jacksonville Jaguar, Nick Sorensen. He was the defensive passing game specialist, Nichols coach for the 49ers last season, and he is now the defensive coordinator. That's good on him. Nick Sorensen was always a good dude, that's for sure. They did bring Brandon Staley over from L.A. Chargers fame, and they named him assistant head coach and also on the defensive side. We'll see.
My guess would be they were probably going to run that thing together.
Mm-hmm.
Would be my guess.
But
that's Sorensen's first job as a DC, right?
Well, yeah, as a defensive coordinator. That's a pretty high-level title. He was a special teams ace here in Jacksonville. And, my most famous story with Sorensen and a couple guys at the Super Bowl down in the desert is that he had just gotten this big contract, and we're all hanging out, one of the Phoenix watering holes, having a big time, and he left me with a tab.
I think the more intriguing thing is, and this is what it looks like. Now, there might be personality problems beneath this, but it looks like they couldn't get a stop against the Chiefs, and that's it. And there's got to be somebody to blame. And now, again, there might be some personality differences that we don't know about, but that's what it looked like.
I would love to know, because Steve Wilkes is regarded as a very good defensive guy, a respected guy. But if you take a look at the resume, it's an odd one, that's for sure. But a former Jag in Nick Sorensen is now the D coordinator out in San Francisco. All right, so let's get back to this Gator conversation just a little bit. And what I'd like from you Gator fans to hit 641-1010 on the text line or offer up something either on social or on YouTube. You can easily find us on social at 1010XL Joe C, at Matt Hayes CFB, and at, is it RJ 1010XL?
No, R has no J.
Oh, R has no J.
R has no J, and he doesn't. He just backs him down. All
it's the truth.
He got no
He's that big rear end of his.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So you can definitely offer it up on X. But what do Gator fans think about Billy being sued? Because there's half of you, and I'm just gonna guess. There's half of you that isn't 100% sure about Billy Napier. At least half of you. Okay. Raise your hand if you're more than half certain that Billy will be a success. Because I just don't think there are too many of you out there. But so the ones that are like right now kind of lukewarm on Billy, what are they thinking? And is it really possible, according to the way things are being alleged in a potential lawsuit, is that Billy Napier said, I'll take care of the $500,000 tab?
That's. I mean, we could forget about everything else. The $13.45 million.
That right
or whatever. The whole key to this thing is Rashada claiming that Billy Napier said, I will take care of it. When Jaden Rashada was not paid his $500,000 signing bonus, which he was promised, allegedly. He was allegedly promised, and then allegedly Billy Napier said, I will take care of it. Now, the one good thing Florida has going for it is the NCAA has decided to pause all NIL-related investigations, of which they're investigating Florida right now for this entire matter.
Yeah.
But they put a pause to all of them because of what the Tennessee case. Look, at the end of the day, they're not going to deal with any of them. So they at least have a, I don't know, I guess pause is the best way to put it right there, right now for them. But the reality is, and I keep saying this, it's what he does on the field this year is going to be huge, and it was huge before this up. But now all this does is give more ammo to the idea of it's not right. You know, you can say it's out of control, it's an operational mess, which it is an operational mess on the field. Now it looks like an operational mess off the field as well. But if he wins and they go 9-3 or 10-2, they will dig in and protect him.
Sure,
they go 6-6 or 7-5. That is the way they get him out quicker.
Yeah, because if you look back
with a mitigated buyout instead of paying $30 million or whatever.
Yeah, and that mitigated word is, I think, a good one. Even though people may not know totally what mitigated means, it means you can negotiate to a lesser buyout. And that's what mitigating is they'll say, you know what, you did this. You would classify it. If they prove it, this is
it's got to be either
fairly
it's either
serious.
Got to be email or voice or video.
Or text.
And if they don't, if they don't have that, then it's just he said. And then it's, I don't think you can prove that, right? Yeah. It's just one guy saying one thing, one guy saying another.
Yeah, so just let us know because, like I said, Gator fans, they got to be lukewarm on Billy. They certainly are hoping for big things this year. Towards the end of last year, he started to show signs offensively. We all know that there was some just complete and total embarrassments on the football field. But if he could bring in more recruits, I'm going to give you their transfer portal rankings, at least according to some, coming up in a little bit, and they are positive. And so Billy's got a chance to turn the corner. But just as he's catching a little momentum in the offseason, he's coming out of the transfer portal. He gets the kid coming out of Arizona State to come in, Badger, which I'm excited to see what this guy can bring to the table. He gets this.
I don't know how much momentum he has. I mean, that's a big –
well,
I mean, they're coming off a 5-7 season, and they were decent in the portal.
Yeah, but let's put it to you this way.
Their recruiting class went from top 3 to numbers 15 or 16.
Okay, but let's put it to you this way. You're looking for anything in the offseason that is a plus. That is momentum. Okay, now, again, do you hear, Matt? I mean, it just sounds –
No, so this is my thing, okay? And you know, you hear this all the time, and coaches say this all the time. Billy Napier has said this, but this is a big Saban thing. The way you act and carry yourself and how disciplined you are off the field is a direct reflection of how you play on the field, right?
Right.
So would it shock you at all while watching this team on the field, the operational mess that they are, that off the field, dealing with NIL stuff and all that, it wouldn't be also an operational mess? Would that be surprising to you?
No. That's the part I want to see cleaned up more than anything else. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say he did X and that there's legs to this lawsuit until I hear more about it, especially if there is here's the thing that bugs me more than anything else.
Plus, of the 40-plus staffers he has, wouldn't he just have one guy? You pay him.
Well,
remember how I told you that's how Jeremy Pruitt got caught because he had more than one guy paying money?
More than one bag man.
You only have one bag man. That's how it works. Just one guy.
But at this time right now, it's not even needing a bag man because if you have this NIL thing going, you don't need to cheat. You can provide. You can create the NIL. Now, I don't know whether they made a promise that the classic line wrote a check that they couldn't cash. I'm not sure. But it's just such a strange one to name Billy in the suit and find out whether or not he actually did make this promise to the father of Rashada. That's the part that I would love to find out.
Right,
that's for sure.
And I can tell you, this is what it really all comes down to back for me. And believe me, I was the guy who was out there leading the charge that the players should get money, and I still believe that they should be able to basically negotiate their own deals. But the reality is, negotiating your own deals is also a job. It's a business. So it's just as much on Rashada for not getting something in writing, a signed document.
Yeah, produce
that it was very clear. Here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen on this day when I commit. Here's what's going to happen on this day when I sign. Because you don't have that document, okay, and that's signed by Billy Napier and signed by whatever it was. And I know back then it wasn't legal because you couldn't have the universities couldn't be part of it.
Right.
But you could still have that document just because it's not legal.
Right.
All right. You could still say, look, I know it's not legal, but this is what I need for me to come to you. So if you want me to come to you and play with you, this is what I need. And believe me, it happens. So I just think it's these players now have to realize it's a business. Okay. This is what you wanted, so now you have to deal with all the unintended consequences. And I'm all for them getting paid. I'm all for them getting part of the media rights money. I'm all for that, okay? But you now have a different life. Your life is completely different than it was before, where you just walked into the university and thought, all right, they'll take care of me. I'm good. It doesn't work that way anymore.
Yeah.
Now you are a business. Each one of these kids is a business now, and they've got to figure it out. Kids, I say, young dudes.
Yeah.
They're a business, and they have to figure it out. And if they can't figure it out, they need to hire representation that can figure it out. And then once you hire representation to help you figure it out, there might be some sleaze bag that you hire. Because right now there are untold NFL guys and NBA guys and NHL guys to hire sleaze bags, and they don't know they're sleaze bags, and guess what? They lose millions.
Well, they end up duping them
Yes.
into believing that they'll handle everything and they'll take care of it, and they end up on the wrong end of a bad deal. But going back to the essence of this whole thing, and you guys let us know what you think, is that at least we're talking about 2 recruiting cycles ago, so 2022, and it wasn't allowed then for a member of the university to handle an NIL payment of any kind, correct?
Correct.
That's the number one thing here. What do you think about Billy if he is responsible for doing what Rashada says he did?
If he offered to take care of the money.
Yeah, exactly.
If he said, I'll get you the money.
Yeah. All right. So let us know. 641-1010. You can hit the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can definitely go on YouTube. 1010XL. All you got to do is search that. You can get on the stream, and you can definitely throw a comment there. We want to say thanks to the Golf Club of Southampton. They bring you today's show, so you can definitely check out a great golf course and the 9 after 5. We are cranking up a brand new league every single time we play. It's like 8-9 week leagues from the spring into the summer, late summer, and into the fall. You're playing for membership dues at the Golf Club of Southampton, along with other great prizes. They'll hook you up with a great meal afterwards. So just come on out. 287 play. Get on the tee with Joe C. I'd love to see you out there tonight. All you got to do is call the Pro Shop and get on board. Golf Club of Southampton, always a great golf experience. So let's get into a little bit more of that, and then let's turn our attention to some of the OTA chatter, because Joe Burrow's back on the field. Deshaun Watson's back on the field. What does this mean for 2 of the top teams in the AFC, teams that your Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be going up against for a chance at a postseason?
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Now, Studio Talk with Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this.
Mornings on 1010XL.
And totally redeem yourself!
92.5 FM.
Spring has sprung. What a great time to get your house ready forever. Stop paying for exterior paint that doesn't protect your home or business. Rhino Shield's beautiful durable coating never chip, crack, or peel. By the way, they back it up with a 25-year warranty. No mold, no mildew, no algae, all while saving you thousands compared to the cost of repainting it. Right now, 0% financing, up to 25% off. Never been easier to paint your home with Rhino Shield. Book your free estimate today at rhinoshieldjacks.com.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is the sports medicine leader in Northeast Florida. We're proud to be the official sports medicine provider for your hometown teams, including the Jaguars, Sharks, Axemen, and the Jumbo Shrimp. We have the most cutting-edge resources for sports medicine care, including active armor casting, Alter-G anti-gravity treadmills, and highly trained physicians and athletic trainers. JOI is truly where the pros go, and so should you.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
How can you reach your weight loss goals by the 4th? Simple. Make a Bacon 180 with a Waken 180. Bacon's on the table, burgers, lobsters, you name it. Don't sacrifice the summer avoiding what you love. Make a Bacon 180 at awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL keeps you company with sports takes and local talk.
Well, then that's exactly what we'll do.
Saturday from noon to 2.
Got any ideas who this mystery man might be?
It's Compton and Company.
What if word about this gets out?
On 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Are you feeling the heat? It's time to cool things down with Duck Duck Air Conditioning. Contact us today at 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckac.com. Duck Duck Air Conditioning to keep you cool and comfortable all year round.
Hey sports fans, it's Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control. Are mosquitoes turning your outdoor fun into a full contact sport? Time to call in Kingfish Pest Control. I can tell you from my own experience, they are the MVPs of mosquito elimination. See for yourself. Call Kingfish Pest Control today and get an unbeatable 50% off your first treatment. That's right, sign up for a full season of lockdown coverage and get 50% off your first treatment. Don't let mosquitoes steal your home field advantage. Reclaim your yard with Kingfish Pest Control.
Are you really even celebrating if you're not getting the Memorial Day meat sweats from Southern Steer Butcher? We're stocked and ready for you. Check out all of our Memorial Day specials online Wednesday to Monday.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Hey, it's Joe C. And when you want to enhance your outdoor space, visit my friends at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. They have everything you need, including true flame grills. Visit their showroom or schedule a free home estimate at cssoutdoor.com.
Hey folks, this is Dave Benyon with my son Ammon here from Zero Res. Ammon, you've been cleaning air ducts for a while now. What are some of the reasons customers might consider getting their air ducts cleaned?
There are many reasons. Many times, people suffer needlessly from poor indoor air quality produced by the conditions in their air system. Construction dust, the presence of bacterial growth, and years' worth of buildup all come together to make your air ducts a pretty gross place. If you suffer from allergies, have recently moved, recently remodeled, or have never had your air ducts cleaned, then now is the best time to call. By calling Zero Res, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you called the best of the best. Our state-of-the-art truck mount system and top-of-the-line service representatives simply can't be found anywhere else. Google Zero Res and read thousands of 5-star reviews.
So what kind of deals can I expect?
Just mention that you heard us on the radio, and we'll give you $100 off your air duct cleaning.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty great deal. Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Skilled trade jobs are booming, so begin your high-pay, high-demand career today through the Northeast Florida Builders Association. Their apprenticeship program provides paid training in some of the most highly sought-after skilled trades. Get paid while you train, full-time in carpentry, electrical, HVAC, or plumbing. Plus, earn a 10% raise every year, and the classes are 100% tuition-free. Start your new career today and apply before June 10th at NEFBAapprenticeship.org.
At Hidden Hills Golf Club, we simply love the game, and we think you'll love playing one of the most unique golf courses in North Florida. Rolling hills and striking elevation changes will test your game and keep you coming back for more. Check us out, hiddenhillsgc.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
XL Primetime hanging out on a beautiful Wednesday. We got the 9 after 5, a little after 5 this afternoon. You knock off work, you head out to the Golf Club of Southampton, and the 9-hole game takes off. Different game every Wednesday night, and then food afterwards. And I think this is the constant. It's just having fun, being with buds, whomever it might be, family, whomever it might be. It brings me to one, and this is a little sad, but one of the families that would come out and play the 9 after 5 all the time, right? The Strumlofts. Sean and his dad and family members would come out, and they're always out there for the 9 after 5, always out there for either, our Toys for Tots tournament or whatever. And the dad lost a battle. And so he's up there probably teeing off right now, but just you hate it. But, just the fact that families get to come together. So Sean and the Strumloff family, we're definitely still thinking about you guys. That's for sure. All right, Joe C., Matt Hayes, it's XL Primetime. Minus Big Searcy, he'll be back manana. We got Denny Thompson coming up in the 3 o'clock hour, our quarterback whisperer. But one off the text line, and this is just talking about the Jaden Rashada potential lawsuit against the University of Florida, or I shouldn't say the University of Florida, against Gator head coach Billy Napier, along with a major booster, along with a company outside of the university. There was one guy that was handling.
And the director of ops, who's now no
director
longer
of ops, who's no longer there. But off the text line, if one bank offers you a job and you accept, but then it falls through before you start, do you get to sue the other one because you didn't take that job? It's insane. And that's where we are. And I can't imagine this is the first or the last time that a player will be promised something.
No, it's not the first and never will be the last. It's
may not come through.
You can remember talking about this a year and a half ago. We had Andy Staples on from the Athletic. Now he's at On 3. And my question was simple. Well, where's the contract? And he said, well, I've seen it, but I can't produce it. Mm-hmm. And apparently there is no contract. So, and we love our twofers, especially the guys that chime in on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. We had an attorney chime in, and what I said was, so if they didn't have an agreement in writing on a 4-year deal and Florida backed out on a verbal agreement, not Florida but Napier,
right?
Can fraud apply? And he said, yes, statute of frauds would apply. He said, quote, I haven't read the complaint yet, but if Rashada is pleading breach of contract, Napier and the other defendants should prevail on a motion to dismiss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, these lawsuits can be filed. They may not ever be heard. They may
because there's no contract. That's what he means.
Right, yeah.
So if that's what they're arguing. Now, they're arguing fraud, but I don't know how they're going to get to that argument of fraud, I guess is the question. How do you get to that argument? Do you get to it by saying he verbally said he would take care of me? Then that's what I said earlier. Unless you've got that recorded or you've got some kind of digital proof of that, that's going to be very difficult to prove.
And that texting and all that is certainly possible. All right, so real quick, and this is how, just to remind everybody, this was a reported $13.5 million deal that was going to be spread over 4 years. Do I have that right?
4 years, yeah.
Yeah, and so the length of what you would expect a player to be there. He may not be there the entire time, but that's the way the numbers were working. So now they've come out.
Right, wait, hang on. Allegedly, that's what because there is no contract.
Yes, exactly.
So allegedly.
That was the number one thing I said right off the jump 2 off seasons ago. Is there something to prove what is big? Because everyone ran with the story. Jaden Rashada promised $13.5 million by the University of Florida. And by the way, I'm getting ripped on the MyBookie Digital Studio chat line, saying I'm a sorry Gator and no Gator cares about this. You damn right they care about this. Are you kidding me? Because this is landmark stuff, big stuff, and this is one that was considered at the time one of the major gets. And if it was all screwed up, think about what's happened at the University of Florida. One collective just completely had to be scrapped. And you're talking about a major booster who was, according to the way things are reading, had a big hand in trying to sway a player over to Gainesville. That happens all the time, but now you could put it out there in front of everybody, and potentially lawsuits could be filed because of this. It is serious. It definitely is serious. So here's some of the numbers. Say whether they're real or not, I don't know because we don't have enough out there where we can see it. But these are the numbers, Matt, that are being put out there for the NIL and what, quote, players are worth. What's the market for a quarterback? CBS Sports says the quarterback market range is $500,000 to $800,000. And the industry, as they've done a little bit of research finding out what players are willing to share, what boosters are willing to give up, is that you can get a quality starting quarterback in the Power Four for around $500,000 to $800,000. Are you buying that?
No.
Come on, no. How can we even know?
You can't know, okay? You cannot know. Plus, not only that, how do you know how the guy's going to play?
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea how he's going to play. You're going to give a guy $800,000?
Yeah.
Unless he's like a can't miss 5-star guy,
mm-hmm.
I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Okay, but still, there is money changing hands. Okay?
Sure, there is. Yeah.
How
much do you think Florida? The NIL deal that Mertz got last year for Florida, not this year, last year.
I'd love to know, but I really don't.
He started 3 years at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
There's no way he got $500,000 to $800,000 from Florida. No chance.
And you're thinking
less.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
less.
too. And yet we talk about all these big numbers that are being thrown out there. He did not have a particularly good resume before he got to Gainesville. Give Billy Napier some credit. At the very least, Gator led the SEC in completion percentage, did a lot of good things in terms of protecting the football and completing a lot of passes. He upped his stock based on what he did in orange and blue versus that badge.
I also think the problem is about a year ago, maybe a little over a year, 14, 16 months ago, was when Ryan Day, the infamous Ryan Day quote of it's going to take $13 million to put together a roster now. I mean, it's just dumb is what it is, okay? $13 million. Now, they've added a couple big guys from the portal, including, obviously, Judkins, the best running back in the SEC last year at Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Caleb Downs, who's one of the best defensive players in the country, the safety from Alabama. That probably cost them a pretty penny, but $13 million, that's pretty high.
Yeah.
That's pretty high.
Cam Ward, just a guess. What would be the number to get him to come down to Miami? We really don't know.
But it's different for those guys. Like if you are a 3 or 4 year starter and you've got
he's proven,
and you've got a track record of playing at a high level, I think those guys could get $1 million.
Yeah, but let me just give you a comparison. DJU has started a couple of seasons in his career. One not so hot, the other one decent. How much does he get to come to Tallahassee compared to Cam Ward, who played well out in Washington State, comes to Miami? He's going to get a little bit more, I would think. They're both starters. They're both coming from the Pac-12, but I would think Cam Ward's getting more. That's just my guess.
I would think he's getting considerably more, actually.
Yeah, right.
Than DJ. I mean, if you had to, I have no idea, okay? I'm just throwing this out there. A couple $100,000 for DJ? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 1 year shot. It's 1 year you're paying this guy who really hasn't proven anything in college football.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to pay him $1 million, what was that number? $500,000 to $800,000.
$500,000 to $800,000.
You're going to pay DJU $500,000 to $800,000 to come be your quarterback.
I would not.
If you did, you watched that spring game, you overpaid.
Yeah, I would not. And here's you mentioned the running backs. The Quinshawn Judkins.
You watched the last 3 years, you way overpaid.
Yeah, and Judkins is a good player, right? So he's worth it.
Yeah.
And then you got Damian Martinez, who also went to Miami. We don't know what the number for Cam Ward was, but at least the reporting is, according to ESPN, is that he left Corvallis to go to Coral Gables for $400,000. I don't know. That's a lot of coin.
Again, for a 1 year deal. That's a 1 year guy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money for 1 year.
Yeah. All right. So let us know what you think about that. Wide receiver market range, $75,000 to $300,000. Now that's a big gap between $75,000 and $300,000. But at the same time, if you were getting Keon Coleman to come from Michigan State to Tallahassee, and he's eventually going to turn into a first-round draft pick, how much was he worth? Was he worth it to the Golden Chiefs to come up with enough cash to bring him there? I don't know.
But I mean, Keon was a good player at Michigan State. He wasn't where you're like, oh, my God, Keon Coleman's in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good player, a guy that if you watch that Michigan State play, you'd be like, okay, this dude's going to be a player. This dude's got potential. But he wasn't like this huge guy in the portal is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
like
know.
he wasn't a Caleb Downs type guy in the portal.
That's
if you think like they paid Keon Coleman $1 million to go to Florida State, you're out of your mind.
I do like this line, DJ, throw it away. Instead of DJ. All right, 641-1010. You can hit the text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can go to the YouTube channel.
But this is where we are right now because there's no, they say guardrails. All the administrators say guardrails because there's no flat-out system where we can say, okay, this is the salary cap. This is what the typical, like the NFL. This is the salary cap. This is what happens when you get this way. This is what happens when you go to 3 years, when you make 4 years. This is your, do you sign him to the extended second-year deal? You see all the numbers in front of you. We have no idea what the numbers are. So the easiest thing to do is just jack them up, man. And you know why you jack them up? Because that makes everyone who's buying these players panic and think more. And so that's why all these, where all these numbers are coming from? They're coming from, I'm going to put this in air quotes, Joe, representatives of the players who are jacking them up. So these schools think they have to pay more for these guys.
And they can go to their boosters and get more, and then they can ultimately try and get their player to receive more. So, yeah, it's. I think the money is much smaller than we're hearing, although you do hear some pretty big numbers from some of these guys.
Think about this now.
Bona fide stars, by the way.
Taking a step back now, okay? Yeah. Taking a step back and watching how Jaden Rashada played in year one at Arizona State and how he was getting beat out in the spring, by the way, from a Michigan State transfer who didn't even play at Michigan State last year. Mm-hmm. And they're going to pay him $13.45 million over 4 years. That's I
wouldn't think so.
Some significantly bad evaluation is what that is.
I wouldn't think so. All right, you guys let us know what you think. 641-1010. We got to Dr. George Bari coming up in just a few moments. Breaking Bones. He hosted along with me on Sunday mornings. But if you got a sports injury question, you can hit the text line at 641-1010. We'll say hello to Gio coming up.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Turn on the radio.
In your car, 92.5 FM and 1010 AM.
Would you like to drive for a while?
In your house, at the beach, on your phone, at the gym, on vacation, out of town.
Well, everyone knows that.
Download our free 1010XL app for all smart devices.
This week only, it's the Memorial Day clearance sale at Art of Natural Stone, with 2 locations on Beach Boulevard and on Phillips Highway. To make room for new product, they're offering clearance sale pricing on pavers, stones, gravel, and travertine. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your outdoor space with top-quality materials at clearance sale prices. This week only at Art of Natural Stone on Beach Boulevard and on Phillips Highway, open Sunday and Monday.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Need or want cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Attention real estate agents, loan officers, and mortgage professionals. Trust your real estate closings to the expertise of St. John's Title, LLC. As a board-certified attorney-owned and operated firm with years of experience, St. John's Title provides the utmost of precision and professionalism. With conveniently located offices and in-home remote closing options, our customer-first approach ensures a seamless process tailored to your timeline. Join our team of experts and 5-star testimonials from customers across the First Coast. Choose St. John's Title.
This is Hayes Carline for Skylife Elite. Have you ever thought about aircraft ownership as another potential revenue stream and as a tool for tax savings? Put your tax money to work for you while enjoying the benefits of private personal travel. Skylife Elite has over a decade of experience in business aviation and can guide you through the process with their expert staff. Call my friends over at Skylife Elite at 490-9332 or find them at flyskylife.com to get the rundown on everything owning an airplane can do for you.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 22nd, 1930, Yankees Baseball Future Hall of Fame first baseman Lou Gehrig had 3 hits, all being home runs, as the Yankees go on to beat the Philadelphia A's 20-13.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, and equal opportunity employer.
Hey gang, a tougher housing market means it's crucial to hire the right agent to sell your home at maximum price. That's why I recommend Chad and Sandy Newman. Chad and Sandy have the plan and experience to sell your home fast, and most importantly for you, get maximum cash. Listen, problems lead to promises, lead to proof when you trust Chad and Sandy. Among those promises, Chad and Sandy, the only local real estate experts I trust and recommend, and this is why. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Problems that you think are problems are fixed with the promises of Chad and Sandy. Let's go now to some proof. Justin and Palatka. I was trapped in a mortgage with my ex-wife on a home that didn't sell for 184 days with another realtor. Finally, we hired Chad and Sandy, and the difference was instantaneous. We had multiple offers in 7 days and sold and closed in 16. So just do this, gang. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com.
Mia here. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays. And new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sportsbook. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
How about 75-cent wings every Wednesday night at Bay Street Sports Bar and Grill? Watch tonight's game with signature cocktails and chow down on 75-cent wings only at the newly renovated Bay Street Sports Bar and Grill downtown.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Our next guest is not affiliated with the NFL or Jacksonville Jaguars.
Discussion of injuries is solely based on opinion.
Now, the Bari Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Breakdown.
I'm coming in hot.
His name is Gio, Dr. George Bari. He of Bari Orthopedics, fellowship trained, if I can speak, fellowship trained under the renowned Dr. James Andrews. Gio, why don't you speak for me? Because I'm just sitting over here butchering the English language. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
We're doing great. Listen, we bring Dr. George Bari in for injury questions. If you have one, you can hit the text line 641-1010. This man can help you, and I will pay the tab. Is that how it goes?
I haven't seen it yet, but supposedly.
I'm looking over at Matt, too, and he's like, yeah, you are paying the tab. But if you have like a ache, pain, shoulder, hip, knee, whatever it might be, 641-1010. This is where we get to bring in some of the sports injury questions that you guys have. Now, one of them, last night, we did not – actually, the Celtics were taken right to the wall. Almost did not hit that shot, which would have been a costly loss at home. But Jaylen Brown hits it. They go into overtime. They survive. They beat the Pacers. They do not have Kristaps Porzingis. He's been out, what is it, a soleus strain?
A soleus strain.
So tell everybody what that is, and then he's still, at least they're not counting on him until what, Game 4?
They're saying Game 4, which I think is Monday.
Yeah, that's a long time. All right, so soleus.
So your calf, right, people say your calf, is your gastroc, which we all have heard about, gastroc tear, gastrocnemius, and your soleus is actually underneath the gastroc, right? So those are the two. The gastroc, attaches above into the femur, so above the knee joint, and the soleus stays below the knee joint.
Okay.
And he has strained the soleus muscle.
Okay.
And I'm sure they had an MRI which showed inflammation in that muscle, and that's how they were able to tell. But it's been, I believe, since the Miami Heat, right, is when he heard it.
Since that series, yeah,
so
exactly.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Let me see if I can find the timeline. I'm going to put it at about, it feels like it's about 2 weeks.
No, more, just 2 weeks?
Longer than
I thought it was
that?
longer. Yeah, but either way, 2 weeks, let's say it's 2 weeks, and then the Monday, he's looking at 3 weeks at minimum, right, if not longer, for the strain. We always talk about like hamstrings and quads, et cetera, and people pulling these muscles. And the minimum timeline is usually about 2 weeks if it's really bothering you, right? And 2 weeks is kind of the minimum if it's bothering you enough not to play. And so he in theory would be at least 3 weeks out. So, we'll see how he does. It's going to be interesting if he does come back on Monday, if he plays the full amount of minutes, or if they kind of limit him.
All right, April 29th. We're looking at April 29th is when he went down.
3 weeks, so it'd be 4 weeks about.
Yeah. So we're coming up
4
on
weeks.
On a month, and so that would be about the timeline, like you said. Maybe just kind of goes to your hammy. What's your hammy rule?
When it feels good, wait another week.
Exactly. So we'll find out. Now, here's a guy that we brought up before, Joey Burrow, and the reason we bring up some of these guys this time of the year is that we haven't seen them since they were injured and were done for last season. And you don't really see him until OTAs begin. And so Burrow said, I think we might have talked about it a week ago, something like that he said his wrist feels good, but every day is different. You don't quite know what to expect until you go out there and throw. Anyway, he was seen throwing the football, and he feels like he's looking good as far as moving around. That's number one. And when you're coming back from ligament surgery on that thumb area, I mean, what are you looking for? Grip pressure, just make sure that you can do everything you're asked to do as far as, and then still be able to drive and throw the football.
Right. It's a lot of things when you're the quarterback. One, they've still never told us what surgery he had. It's never been specified, at least everywhere I look, so I can't figure out exactly what he had. But when you're the quarterback, you have a couple things. One, you have to hold on to the ball, right? Like any offensive player. And so guys are going to come after you. You know they're going to grab that finger, that thumb, and try to rip those fingers and hurt it and for you to drop the ball.
Right.
And two, not only do you have to hold the ball, but now you also have to throw the ball. So you have a different set of quote-unquote motion or a different set of skills that finger has to do besides just holding on to it. When you hold on to a ball, in theory, you can have your other hand hold on to it too, and now you're helping it out. When you throw a ball, it's just that one hand.
Right. And you want to be able to deliver with accuracy.
Right. So that's going to be obviously the biggest question mark. Can he throw it? Will it be accurate? And is it going to have enough speed? Depending what happened with his hand. And then you have, can you hold on to the ball if he gets hit? Right. Then there's the whole other set of questions after that.
Right.
But I think as a quarterback, the more important thing is to be able to throw it, obviously. There are videos of him on the internet of him throwing now. He's not wincing. He's not, grimacing with his face, which is some things we look at to see if someone's hurting without telling you that they're hurting. So far, so good. But we all know throwing in practice is not like throwing in a game.
Gosh, yeah.
And then throwing it, 30 times, full speed, running around across your body. There's a lot of different variables.
And with all the people that he does not have in front of him right now, like we said, no one's chasing him down. But anyway, you've seen these quarterbacks finish their throw and they hit a helmet or whatever.
Yep.
Now, when you said he's not grimacing in pain, would you grimace in pain if you, tried to pull off this hairdo that he's got?
Is that now?
That is now. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Now, he apparently has the long locks. He's come out. I don't know whether this is a team picture. I have no idea. But if Leon were here, Leon would be joking about John Party, one of our interns. He calls him Wham because he's got the George Michael do. And so this is Joey Burrow.
Listen, he's got the hair, man.
Oh my God!
I think if I was able to grow that hair, I'd probably do it. I told my wife I want to grow long hair one time.
Yeah.
Because I'm losing it, and I just want to have that long hair one time. But she didn't let me.
And that's why Matt just walked out of the room. He feels the same way. All right. Let's get to one baseball injury. Xander Bogaerts, before you're done. Dude makes one of those diving catches, okay? And you know as soon as you see it, you're talking about the shoulder is exposed. It could be an AC joint. It could be, I don't know. You take it from there. Well, because people who listen to this show know you're a shoulder man.
Yeah. So he fell with his arms extended, and then they mentioned after the game they were worried about some instability. Mm-hmm. So when you say that, you think about dislocation. They did mention they thought he had dislocated it. Mm-hmm. Looks like he had no structural damage. So what it sounds like to me on the outside, that when someone says they think he dislocated it,
right,
and that he doesn't have any instability, he probably told them, I felt something clunk. I felt something like popped in and out. Something happened. I felt a shift in my shoulder. So you can do what we call a subluxation, where it pops in and out, not completely out, but just partially goes out and then comes back in on its own. Mm-hmm. Then you worry about, did you really dislocate? Do you have any labral damage? Probably what happened to him. He's probably going to sit out for a couple games, especially in baseball when the season is so long.
True.
Sit out a couple games, rehab it, make sure it's okay, and then kind of pop back in.
All right, if you've got a sports question, 641-1010. If we miss it today, we will get it on Breaking Bones Sunday morning, 7:30, shoulder, knee, hip, whatever. Hit Gio up. He'll take care of you. Let me ask you one more baseball one, because we got one of our diehard Braves fans, and he's just basically asking. He mentioned Ronaldo Lopez, back tightness caused him to leave a start early. Austin Riley, side tightness on the left side. Question is simple. Why is there so much tightness with the Braves? Hydration, stretching, just a guess.
First of all, when these teams say what the injury is, take it for a grain of salt. That baseball player we just talked about, they said after they said we thought he dislocated it, now they're saying their official diagnosis was rotator cuff inflammation.
Yeah.
That's completely not anything to do with dislocation, right? So some people these teams will say a diagnosis just to have something out there. So we don't know exactly if it's all true. And second, I'm not a big, these are all professional teams. Mm-hmm. They all have the same protocol. They know exactly how to treat these players and what to do for rehab. So I'm not a big proponent of this team has a problem in something. I mean, they all have the formula, right? Mm-hmm. They just how they tweak it. I just think it's luck of the draw sometimes.
Yeah, just bad luck.
Bad luck. And then also sometimes the quote-unquote diagnosis that the team gives is not the diagnosis that's real.
All right, there you go. He scrubbed up in blue today, okay? It's a blue day for Dr. George Bari. You can check him out, BariOrthopedics.com, locations all over the city. If they want to check out our podcast.
Apple, Google, Spotify.
All right, Gio, have a good afternoon.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we missed a few that came flying in, including what James Franklin up to on the campus of Penn State, maybe trying to change medical records or anything. I don't know. We're going to get into that one coming up on Breaking Bones on Sunday morning, and a couple of other ones. We definitely will make sure we try and get it on Sunday morning at 7:30. All right, we got the quarterback whisperer coming up. Did you?
By the way, the Joey Burrow hair is fake.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Did you? Because you went running out, you came running back in. You said it's fake, and so I love Burrow. But who wouldn't want that hair?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, who also wouldn't want that, $55 million contract, too?
Yeah, with the flowing locks, would you rather have $55 million or hair for the rest of your life, Matt? Answer that truthfully.
$55 million.
Yeah?
Yes. I love being bald, man.
He loves the dome.
All right. Are you kidding me?
All right. Speaking of flowing locks, and I don't know, maybe $55 million. Denny Thompson's coming in the 3 o'clock hour. The quarterback whisperer. We'll say hello to him coming up. You guys can hit us with some QB questions if you want, including Burrow looking good right now. Deshaun Watson coming back from shoulder surgery. There's a bunch of them. But then we'll also ask about that quarterback NIL market coming up. It's XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. This is the place Jags fans turn to every day for news, analysis, and inside stuff. 1010XL, home of the Jaguars. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Imagine driving a late-model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
There's a name you can trust when it comes to surfacing your AC system. Bold City Heating and Air, a family-owned Jacksonville company focused only on the local community. And since the extreme summer temperatures are almost here, schedule your summer maintenance today with Bold City Heating and Air. Don't be fooled by the out-of-towners, equity firms, and national corporations that use local names. Trust the AC company born in the Bold City. That's boldcityac.com.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I've been telling you about Fenwick Home Services for a while now. Well, spring is here, and that to-do list isn't going away. But I'm not stressing, because when I need them, I know Fenwick Home Services is there 24/7 with cooling and plumbing solutions to fit my budget. Whether it's minor upgrades or major repairs, they get it done right the first time. So schedule your seasonal AC tune-up today and avoid costly breakdowns. Don't hope you won't have a problem. Plan to make sure you don't. Book now at FenwickHomeservices.com/radio. That's FenwickHomeservices.com/radio.
Hey poker players, the Poker Atlas Tour is coming to Best Bet St. Augustine June 6th to 16th. The Poker Atlas Tour features 7 events, including the $600 no-limit Hold'em title event with a $200,000 guaranteed prize pool, and Event 1 $300 no-limit Hold'em with a $100,000 guarantee. Satellites start May 26th. For more details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out the Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At the Y Summer Camp, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
Attention veterans, if you have a VA loan, you need to listen to this, especially if your current rate is higher than 6.5%. Now is the time to take advantage of the federal government's VA Streamlined Refinance Program. With my friends at Loan Pronto, you can. Go to loanpronto.com. Prosser here, and Loan Pronto has fixed rate APRs in the 5s. You can drop your rate now. Lower your payment with no income documentation and no appraisal. Do it at loanpronto.com. Their all-digital platform makes it easy. They can even cover your closing costs. If you need cash now, Loan Pronto can get you up to 100% of your home value. You can pay off all your credit cards or other debt and save as much as $1,000 a month. Call Loan Pronto now at 904-999-1508 or get a 30-second rate quote at loanpronto.com. Ask about streamlined VA loans, no income doc, and no appraisal. Loan Pronto, 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Hacker here with an update. I'm now down 65 pounds in less than 3 months with Awaken 180. It's been incredible. You've seen it on social media. If not, take a look. I'm the guy with 65 less pounds around his midsection. Since I started, I had to get lower dose medication for both blood pressure and cholesterol. That meant a trip to the pharmacy. When I walked in, the pharmacist did a double take, the same way my doctor did. Didn't even recognize me. It's a pretty cool feeling, knowing I'm transforming into the new me. If I can do Awaken 180 and succeed, trust me, so can you. Imagine dropping pounds while still enjoying your favorite foods. With Awaken 180, you get to lose weight without giving up what you love. Are you ready to make the call to Awaken 180? Call right now, 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800, or do what I did and check them out at awaken180weightloss.com. Start changing your life today with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
I'm RJ Saunders with your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. For 1010XL, we've spoken about many of the rookies selected by this Jaguars squad. However, one that's looked at as more of a developmental player for Jacksonville is that of Miles Cole. But defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen has really enjoyed what he has seen out of the new defensive end.
We're excited about him, the measurables and things like that, but what he was doing on his tape is very similar to the defensive end position that we like, and so when you take that measurables and some of the things on the tape, and he's a young guy that has got to learn, just like all the rookies, but we're excited about his growth, and he's been a really good in terms of putting the extra time in right now.
Sound courtesy of Jaguars.com. Currently 87 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller. XL Primetime continues on 1010XL.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts, and George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3.
I know Denny, when he was making his way into 1010XL, the palatial studios here, right on Hogan Road, he heard that I said he had great hair and somewhere around $55 million. He's not going to answer to either one of those. Or
$55 million.
Are you talking about Denny or Joe Burrow?
Yeah, Denny.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, I can tell you neither of those are true. I was telling Matt, I got a new Silverado from George Moore. Had that thing on 2 wheels coming here, man. I looked up and I'm like, oh my gosh. I left Ponte Vedra at like 240.
Oh yeah, you had a good time. Listen, that's pretty dang good time.
Yeah.
All right,
Sorry
real quick,
to the cops.
route. Nocatee, Beach Boulevard, what are we talking about?
Nocatee, US 1.
Yeah, let's not give too much away.
Yeah,
the
to the
SJSO.
95, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Let's not give too much away.
Yeah.
Timing.
Yeah. Truck will go now.
I think you and I
love
both.
my Silverado, man. Love it.
We both have been on 2 wheels at times, that's for sure. I am familiar
I
with
can vouch for that, by the way.
Yeah, with what you were talking about there. All right, the quarterback whisperer hanging out with us. And this is a crazy conversation. If you guys got any quarterback thoughts, you can throw them our way, 641-1010. But we started talking about this whole lawsuit that may have legs to it. Right now it's just in that filing stage. But the bottom line is a recruit, Jaden Rashada, is alleging that Billy Napier, he named him in the suit, promised to handle a $500,000 portion of a, quote, signing bonus. It was supposed to be $1 million. He was going to make sure half was delivered, on and on and on. I know you're familiar with it. And it got us talking about NIL dollars, which I want to bring up. But on the face, what do you think about that in our college football world, Denny, that we're now in we are a litigious society. You know that.
Yeah. I mean, not singling out that situation because I don't know enough about it, but I think when you start to look into what this thing is, like what is a collective even? Like does anybody really know what a collective is, right? And the point is it's really a pool of money that's put together by a bunch of donors, right? And
you say donors, I say boosters.
Whatever it is, right? But the point is there's no substance to the money. There's no asset to the money. And so if we've seen this already, if a collective wants to just shut down and file bankruptcy, I don't know if they have to file bankruptcy, there's nothing stopping them, right? There's literally nothing stopping them. So when you get these deals, it's not as easy as just saying, I want to go to the college of my choice, and here's what I'm demanding, and that's what you're going to pay me. It's not like this money's coming out of football or the university. This money has to appear from somewhere.
That's interesting that you said they could just file for bankruptcy. Hadn't really thought about that.
I mean, hasn't Florida had multiple collectives?
Well, yeah, the first one was the Gator Guard or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think most schools have had that. They've started something and realized, oh gosh, we don't know what we're doing, or it's not working out, or we're not getting the monies or whatever. And then it's, we're going to disband that, and then what happens to those contracts? Well, nothing happens. There's no money. Like, how are you going to get the money? And so I don't know anything about this Jaden Rashada deal, but I can tell you that about, half my day is spent in some way dealing with transfer portal, NIL, management of our college quarterbacks or pro quarterbacks, and it is very, very difficult to navigate right now.
It's also the great unknown. I mean, and I was talking to Joe about this. CBS Sports had this article up about, by position, how much players are worth. And it's so out of whack. And it's obvious that, they said they're talking to industry sources. They're talking to, like, representatives or whatever you want to call these guys, okay?
I have not seen this list
of players, all right?
Here's the one. He's described as a
Power Four collective operator. All this is a guy who's trying to – they're raising the idea of what it's going to cost so it gets the players more money. So if you raise it to $500,000 to $1 million for a quarterback, then you're thinking, all right, well, I got to pay this guy, and if somebody else is paying, then I might have to pay $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
So it's and I've just been saying, look, if you're talking about a Power 5 and now Power 4 quarterback, a legit guy who's won 10 or 11 games, who's won a conference championship, then you might start talking about $1 million, $2 million, right? But if you're just talking about like DJU, what are you paying DJU to come be your quarterback?
What am I paying?
Yeah. Or are you paying him anything?
Oh, yeah, you got to pay him.
Do you?
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is the first time I'm 100% with Matt on.
No,
do you?
No. I mean,
no, it's just a matter
if you
of how
want
much.
Them, yeah. Here's the issue: is nobody knows how to. There's no valuation.
Right. There's no.
Nobody
set
knows about. But because there's situations where. I won't get into details about a lot of this stuff, but there's situations where you could throw out any number you wanted, and the kid's so valuable that it would justify whatever you, and it's completely unreasonable.
Yeah. But those situations are rare with kids like that.
Well, it is, but then let's.
I'm just going to say, you don't have to say anything. If Carson Beck says I won $4 million, that's a legit ask.
And he's proven at that university. He's not even asking to go somewhere else.
But again, hold on now, because this is where the value proposition comes in. So let's say you've got a kid who is who's a senior in high school right now, and you don't know how to value it, so you're allowing these schools to value it, and so they are coming back to you, and one of them may say your kid's worth $300,000. The other one may say it's worth $400,000. Well, your kid's worth what people are willing to pay.
Yes. Yeah.
And that number is $250 if you're like really, really good, $250 to $600 to $700,000. Like that is the value to this thing. Like it is what it is. And then if you're a guy who's been in college football and you have gotten snaps, I agree with what you're saying, Matt, but you don't have to have won 10 games. If you've got experience and you've gotten snaps, you're very valuable.
I'll give you a great one.
Very valuable.
I'll give you a great one right now. Malik Murphy. How much do you think Duke paid him? Duke. If you had to guess.
I can't guess because I know.
Oh, you know?
And I'm not going to say it.
Dang it.
Yeah.
All right. So
give me like a little wink because unless you're watching on YouTube,
hey, based on what CBS.
But anyway, my point is that guy
$500,000 to $800,000.
He played 2 games last year. He started 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
If they paid more than a couple $100,000 for him, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
I love that smile.
Look at the look on his face.
Yeah, I love
the look on his face is they paid him much more.
Okay, so off the text line, this one comes in as an Auburn fan, says Hugh Freeze is on the record saying he's happy with his quarterback room and he wasn't going to spend $1 million for a quarterback. And so he basically, and he said this to McElroy and Kublik, Greg McElroy, former Bama quarterback, Cole Kublik, who we certainly know from his days at Auburn and the SEC Network. So he said that he couldn't bring himself to spend $1 million. And
well,
so
I mean, which one is
these
it?
coaches are
which
fighting.
one is? Are you happy with your quarterback room and you don't
Right, or
need
you
to go
can't-
spend $1 million, or are you saying I'm happy with my quarterback because I don't want to go spend $1 million?
Right, because he's still
like
got
which
Peyton
one
Thorne
is it?
sitting there.
Yeah, well, I mean, we work with Peyton.
Yeah.
And we work with the backup, Holden Gerner, and he should be happy with their room. They're 2 talented guys. Like I mean, he's got some depth in that room. They recruited the kid from Arkansas this year. Like he's done a good job. He should be happy with.
Okay, but let me ask you this, Denny, and I actually appreciate Hugh Freeze saying this. Is he basically saying I don't need to go buy something? I'd rather coach something?
Well, sure, but what? And I'm not. This isn't even about Hugh Freeze. This is about a coach in general. What happens if you're year 4 and you need to win, and you look at that roster, and the thing that's going to keep your $9 million a year job is that kid that's $1 million in the portal? You're going to get him.
Then you go pay him.
you're going to get him. It is what it is, and I appreciate the hard stances on this, and I understand the hard stances on both sides. But the value is the value. In the world that we live in, it's not going to be this way forever. It's not going to be this way for that much longer, but it is what it is right now. Mm-hmm. And if you want one of these guys and you want to compete right away, you're going to pay for them, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I like you said, I could see both sides, but I understand Hugh Freeze, based on the way that season ended and how they played well against Alabama. He basically said, I'm going to play the guys that I trust the most and that I can develop going forward. Mm-hmm. All you other guys, kick rocks, because I've got to establish something for this team to grow and prosper.
Yeah, I see it more along the lines of you couldn't get the guy out of the portal you wanted, and that's why.
Well, that's possible too.
And that's why he's happy with his quarterback room.
Yeah, I don't know what happened behind the scenes at Auburn after this year. I know that Auburn's been in this just. I've watched Auburn every snap of Auburn football for the last 3 years, unfortunately, because we've had guys there. And I say unfortunately because if you watch their offense, it has been
War Eagle.
It has been a hard
painful.
Watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to put it.
Yeah.
It is super painful. But what I do know about Hugh Freeze is this guy has been around this game a long time, and he's never had an offense like that. So I'm going to trust that Hugh Freeze knows how to fix it, and he feels like what he's got in his room is good enough to fix that, right? And they went and got some receivers. I don't know, did they have to pay for the receivers? But they went and got some receivers, right?
Paying everybody else,
right. So if that's the problem, then that's the problem. But I guess the bigger point is when you look at these coaches, they're so highly compensated now that I appreciate when they stick to their guns about something because they know what the risk to that is, right? So if you're telling me that I can win, I'm good enough that I can win without doing all this other stuff over here, football's like the ultimate answer. We're going to find out. Yeah. We're going to find that out. You're either going to look like a genius and you're going to set a new standard, or you're going to be without a job, one of the two.
See, and that dovetails perfectly into Dabo. Perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Dabo, who claims that, majority of the guys in the portal couldn't play for him anyway, which is ridiculous. We all know that's ridiculous. But I said I admire him because that's his philosophy. His philosophy is if we recruit right and we do the right things as far as due diligence when evaluating high school players, our portal is the locker room. Mm-hmm. We develop those guys, we're going to be in a good position. The problem is he doesn't have Deshaun Watson under center or Trevor Lawrence under center or even Taj Boyd under center right now. That's the problem.
Well, the other problem with that is you can say that all you want to in your locker room, but where it used to be you've got this freshman, and I'm really excited about him. And, man, by the time he gets to be a sophomore or junior, he is going to be a really good player for us. Well, maybe he can start at Ole Miss right now, and he knows that, and he ain't going to sit around. I'm not even talking about Clemson. I'm talking about anywhere. If he can get on the field at Ole Miss and collect $250,000,
gone.
He's there.
Freight train.
Right? So it's like if you want to play by one set of rules and it's different than what everybody else is playing for, then, man, if you can win like that, then tip of the cap to you, and you're, he's one of the OGs, and hopefully he can do that.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. I don't know where the sense is in saying we're not going to do it this way when it's within the rules. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing. Mm-hmm. It is legal to do it.
Yeah.
And all of your competition is doing it. What are you really saying?
Yeah.
What is really the point that you're trying to make?
He trusts their ability to evaluate high school players and build organically. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm telling you that's what he thinks. And if you think about it, they're landing 5-star quarterbacks. They're just not playing well.
Well, hold on. Back up. Let's take it off quarterback position, because if that's what you're saying, again, I'm going to go back to this, is you also got to add something else there. It's not just development. How are you keeping them there? How are you keeping them away from all the other people? There's a third layer to this that I'm interested in knowing, what is your plan? Because at least Saban and Kirby right now, and I guess Dabo to an extent, can say, man, if you stay here, you're going to play on Sundays. And you cannot dispute.
Well, they're paying them, I'm sure.
These histories, but you're not going out and paying players. You're saying that you want this guy to develop. And freshmen don't make as much money as juniors do.
Yeah, the NIL.
Well, I agree with that, but my point is, you're asking how are they keeping the guys there. My guess is they're paying Klubnik. My guess is they're paying Vizina to stay there and be his backup.
Yeah,
That
they
would be
do
my
have.
guess.
Yeah, I would assume so. Yes.
Yeah, but then, like you said, if you don't, then there's a danger that they leave. You can't hide them anymore because there's other NIL offers that are out there. And look, Dabo's being stubborn, and maybe to a fault or maybe to make a point to prove that he can. I don't know. But like we've said, he wanted to promote from within, try to elevate position coaches to coordinator level. He tried really hard, and then it didn't work, and he had to go outside of that. He said, okay, I'm tearing that plan up. And so now you're going to find out whether he's going to be right or wrong.
Development is the piece of this that's just gone. I mean, that's the unfortunate thing. You look at
Tony Elliott's gone and Jeff Scott's gone.
Well, I mean, you go players, and we talk about Carson Beck because Carson Beck is the exception to the rule. He stayed somewhere and could have gone somewhere else. It's really, really hard, man. It's got to be hard as a coach to look at your roster of incoming freshmen, those 25 kids coming in and going, we have a developmental plan for them over the next 3 years because you don't know who you're going to have the following year. And, oh, by the way, it goes both ways because more and more coaches are making, I'm kind of air quoting, cuts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that scholarship you're on, if you don't hold up your end of the bargain, you're out.
It's gone.
Yeah. So don't sell me on like you're hardcore developing your guys, you're true to your guys. And again, this isn't Dabo I'm talking about. And then 3 months later, you're trying to find a way to get rid of 12 of them.
And by the way, Denny, and I know you know this, they were already brutal when it came to cutting Schollies, correct?
Yep.
And so now the desperation needle is pegging a lot sooner, and you're going to cut even more guys and run them out.
No doubt.
Or you're going to be out of your $9 million, $10
But I will say
million
this.
salary.
Look at Clemson's offensive line. These guys are all guys they recruited and developed. A fourth-year junior, at left tackle, a third-year sophomore at left guard, a senior at center, a graduate, so a fifth-year guy at right guard, and a junior at right tackle. So they're developing
That's
guys.
good if they do it.
Yeah.
And they keep
I'm
winning. They just don't win it
pulling
all.
for him. I like the model of we treat our guys in a way, we take care of our guys, we treat our guys in a way from a developmental perspective, a mental health, all of that where they want to stay in Clemson. I hope their offensive line is the best in the country this year because it gives him something to stand on. I'm certainly not an advocate for going and getting as much money as you can. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying it would be hard for me as a coach in today's environment to make ironclad statements like that, knowing that I'm a year away from looking in the portal and going, oh, that's the guy we need, and we need him badly.
Yeah, there's something really good about bringing guys in, making them part of your family, like you said, taking care of them and developing them. But it's just happening less.
It's
and
not
less.
that he doesn't want to work or the staff doesn't want to work. That's I've heard that on other talk radio, national talk radio guys. No, it's literally his philosophy is this is how we're going to do it. Period.
Yeah. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, he's the ultimate guy that's going to either reap the reward or pay the consequence.
Yep.
Right.
Now,
so who am I to judge it?
You have to be on YouTube to see Denny's face to find out whether these numbers are real.
You can't do this to me.
No, I'm joking.
Okay.
Jag dude from Green Cove, he goes, hey, man, how much money for them left tackles?
Yeah.
And so, at least according to the story, $350 to $500K. I'm looking at Denny. The wide receiver market range.
He's trying very hard not to do anything.
$75K to $300,000.
Okay.
Any of these numbers surprise you? Running backs, I was a little surprised by this one. This was in that $200,000 to $300,000 range.
So what this is saying is if you want to go out and get a starter at these positions, this is what you're going to have to pay?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
I don't think there's nothing I've heard that's
would shock
you. I think they're all way
okay.
Oh, I would disagree with you.
Okay, let's keep that going.
Yeah.
You're the guy dealing with it, so let's come forward with it, man.
No. I'm just saying. I think that list is probably fairly accurate.
That's what I want to know because he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to deal in fact. He just has to give us a little education on what the circles of conversation are. Question about Brady Cook we'll bring up in just a little bit. You guys got one for the quarterback whisperer 641-1010. It is XL Primetime. Joe C. Matt Hayes. It's a golf club of Southampton Wednesday. Don't forget. You can get on out and enjoy a great round of golf tonight. You want to just blow off some steam, want to hang out with some of your buds, call 287-PLAY, a little hump day golf at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealers Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
I'm Jeff Lageman, right here on the flagship station of the Jaguars.
That's a heck of a catch.
1010XL and 92.5 FM.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
There's a name you can trust when it comes to servicing your AC system. Bold City Heating and Air, a family-owned Jacksonville company focused only on the local community. And since the extreme summer temperatures are almost here, schedule your summer maintenance today with Bold City Heating and Air. Don't be fooled by the out-of-towners, equity firms, and national corporations that use local names. Trust the AC company born in the Bold City. That's boldcityac.com.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
Brackish Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is the smoothest local vodka you can find. Made right here in Jacksonville, Florida, 100% from corn, Brackish Vodka is the local gluten-free choice. Brackish Vodka, for those that live life slightly salty. A proud partner of the Jaguars.
Now you can pair your favorite local vodka with your favorite wings. Brackish Vodka is now available at Island Wing Company, Southside.
Get recruiting tips and advice from area coaches, pros, athletes, and their parents. Plus better ways to train as B3 bettors Jerry and Sanders and A.D. Roberts host the Amateur's Edge Show. Saturday from 11 to noon on 1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. You've heard me praising the quick and easy process of a Waco 180 weight loss. Now I'm going to explain the benefits. It begins with fitting into clothes you haven't worn in years, or better yet, buying new clothes because those you have simply don't fit anymore, or tightening your belt and realizing you're out of holes, or running on the treadmill or on the beach, or lifting weights just like you once did, or, and here's the key, your health drastically changes. Who doesn't want that? The transformation from old you to new you is the finish line, and Awaken 180 Weight Loss gets you there faster, safer, and easier than any other weight loss program. You're healthy, you're happy, you've made a paradigm life shift. If I can do it, if Mike Dempsey can do it, and Hacker can do it, if more than 21,000 others can do it, you can too. Get your plan, get your personal coach, and get your results by doing what we all did. Choose the solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800. Or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
International soccer returns this summer. Don't miss Premier League clubs, Wolves and West Ham in Jacksonville for the Stateside Cup, July 27th at Everbank Stadium. Tickets as low as $35 at statesidecup.com.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center will get your sex life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Prime Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your sex life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 904-902-8222. 904-902-8222. To regain your sex life in just one visit, call now. 904-902-8222.
Mia here. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays. And new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sportsbook. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
Hanging out, having a good time. 3:25 on a beautiful Wednesday. The Golf Club of Southampton bringing you today's show on XL Primetime. Joe C., Matt Hayes. We got Denny Thompson, our quarterback whisperer, in for another seg. But don't forget, 2-8-7 play if you want to head on out. You got a 9-hole game. You got good grub afterwards, some prizes, all sorts of things to get into. All right, I've got a question.
I'm tired of talking about money. Let's just talk quarterbacks now, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Let's go.
Because believe me, I'm going to get one more in about money. But go ahead. Because
all right, so we got the text line.
Get to the actual football.
How many NDAs I've signed, guys? Y'all got me dancing in here.
What's to know about Brady Cook? Well, I think played well last year. Obviously, in Kirby Moore's first year as the OC QB coach there, Eli gave up the QB coach and play caller job to Kirby Moore, who is Kellen Moore's younger brother, and
stars.
Brady,
both of them. Both
Brady
Kellen and Will brothers. Stars.
Yeah, no doubt. Brady
Coming
developed
up.
nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Luther Burden developed nicely. The offense looked very coherent. What do you think of Brady Cook?
A couple things. I like Brady Cook a lot. I don't. I'm not going to pretend like I've watched a ton of him. I've just watched him in games that we had guys playing against him, and always came away with like, that dude's a dog. Like he's going to make a play. He's going to figure it out. I don't know enough about him to know like his strengths and weaknesses and all that, but I know that they can win a lot of football games with him there, and his arm is more than serviceable. Mm-hmm. He seems very twitchy to me. Like it's one of those things where he doesn't really need a lane to throw out of, if that makes sense. Like he can kind of create it while he's throwing. Right. He's got a good range with his arm, with his feet. He can move his feet inside the pocket and stay inside the pocket. I'm very high on Brady Cook. I love watching him play. I don't know enough about what translates at the next level, but as far as Missouri, I like watching him. And I also have talked to enough coaches now and enough quarterbacks that every single one of them that you talk to raves about the way Missouri plays football.
Really?
Yes.
That's
every one of them talks about how well coached they are on defense. Talks about how hard it is to play against them defensively and what they do well.
Like operational, you mean?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is.
So basically the 180 of what Florida is what you're saying.
Well, that's what you're saying.
Okay,
I'm just talking about
wait a
Missouri.
Minute. That might have been a hacker comment. He just took it back to Florida.
I was just talking about Missouri.
All right, but real quick.
But the look on Denny's face was,
I was going to give Eli some love here because Drinkowitz, same thing we're talking about with, I'll use Doug Peterson instead of Billy as an example. Doug Peterson said, I got to make a change. I got to make a profound change. I got to change that side of the football and bring in another guy in because ultimately my job's going to be on the line if I don't cure this. Eli took play calling duties out of his own hands, which you would not expect a play caller to do. And I give him a ton of credit for what he's done up there.
Yeah, and I think there gets to be a point where you have to look at this and you have to understand, like, that's not an ego thing. The thing that you're trying to do as a head football coach these days is very simple. All the things we just talked about, the management of your roster, keeping these guys and paying these guys, and now they've got to do more speaking engagements than ever because they've got to raise money for collectives in addition to athletics and all that kind of stuff. I think at some point, like, it almost becomes the power move is to give it up, right? The power move is to say that I have got such control and I have got such standards at my program that whoever comes in and calls my plays is going to do so at my direction, but I have much, much bigger fish to fry for this thing to run efficiently. Right? I don't know how anybody right now can do all of that. I don't know how it's humanly possible. They have to recruit at such a level now all the time for 12 months a year. And the demands of the job from boosters, donors to state representatives. I mean, these guys are getting called into daggum Senate hearings.
Testify.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, all this stuff. And you're going to put together a play call sheet and you're going to run the quarterback room. And if you can do it, man, great for you. But I don't know how it's humanly possible.
And you're recruiting high school portal in your own locker room.
Yes. Yeah, you're re-recruiting.
Yes.
So I want to get back to the text line because we've got a couple more questions. But I want to ask you this, and I'm dying to ask you this, and I was going to ask you this off the air too. Is what do you think of Josh Heupel's offense, and what do you think of Nico Iamaleava? You saw him against Iowa, a very good Iowa defense too.
He looked good.
The problem is the Iowa offense couldn't score if you gave him a 14-point lead. They still would have lost 17-14, which obviously makes it not as imperative for them to be completely flawless on offense. It's easier, is what I'm saying.
I have known
the
Nico.
other team can't score.
Yeah, I've known Nico since Nico was in ninth grade. In fact, the second time I met Nico was in L.A. We were working together the day that Kobe died in L.A., like 15 miles away from the site. So I will never forget Nico and Malachi, who's now at Utah.
Right.
And so I've not worked with him since. I'm a huge fan of his. From a very early age, you could tell he was like an elite volleyball player as well, and you could just tell there was an athleticism and just a fluidity to his game that you rarely see.
Smooth.
Yeah, you rarely see that. I'm also a big fan of what Heupel does. It's not new. It's happened before, but it does require very quick and very good decisions, and it's predicated on success in early downs. Like if they can get it going,
right,
it's hard to stop. I sat there last year in that Georgia-Tennessee game and watched Tennessee run that opening game. I think it was like a handoff to start the game, 75 yards, touchdown, place going absolutely crazy. And then I watched Carson just death by 1,000 cuts, just little by little by little. And they played ball control to the point where Tennessee could never get that going.
And it drives Heupel, a guy like Heupel, crazy.
And it was – you can sit in those stadiums, and you guys have been in these stadiums enough to know where everybody's sitting there and everybody's like, oh, it's about to come. But you can feel it's just never going to come. And when you get in those games and those type offenses, I think it's like really, really tough if you don't have that guy at quarterback that can make that play.
Which they didn't
Nico,
last year.
right, they did not. And Hendon Hooker did that, and they had the receivers, but Hendon did really good at keeping them ahead early in possessions, like it 2nd and 4, 3rd and 1, that type of stuff. I think Nico's that guy because Nico's also very athletic. Yeah. I think Nico can find a way if you get into 3rd and 7, you don't have to go 3 and out. He can get that 7 for you, and then you can try to reestablish again. And it just felt like last year they just went through spurts where they just couldn't do that at all.
Anybody who sees him in that bowl game goes back and watches that tape.
He's got the ability, man.
He's special, man.
It's almost like the Baylor offense, right? Remember the Baylor offense on the right?
Very much so.
Very similar, right?
Yeah, very, very much so. No, it's a variation of that. Yeah, but he is definitely special.
All right, real quick before we get you out of here, let's at least ask one Trevor question because they're back on the field, OTAs. I went out there Monday, Denny, and he does what he does. He's got such a big arm. I used to joke that when receivers' hands touch the football that he's throwing, their arms go in that direction. It's like he's just yanking their arms out of their sockets. Anyway, he's got plenty of arm velocity. So look
what
at
you're saying is his balls are different person.
Exactly. That's how Matt put it. So PFF, and we had a discussion about this yesterday, PFF put out the top 10 players under 25. So I shot it to you so you can see it. And we had a big discussion about this. Trevor Lawrence is third on this list. He's only behind Penei Sewell, who is a quality offensive lineman, and Sauce Gardner, who we well know what he can do as a cover corner. You like that list? You like Trevor sitting 3?
Yeah, I mean, I think this list is impossible to do because I can look at this list and I can justify Trevor being at 3 off of just the fact that he's young and his traits are so amazing, right? Like, so I completely get that. I also hear what everybody says about Kyle Hamilton and can tell you why he could be number 1 or 2 on this list.
And Jamar Chase.
Right. And then you go down, you look Brock Purdy, like, I mean, I know that's my guy, and we're not going to get back into that, but I guess we don't put a real big emphasis on winning, right? Like, I thought the point of this was to win football games. But to be fair, if you're going to look at this and you're going to say, you know, from this group of people, who do we feel like could find that next gear and become Hall of Fame players? I completely would agree with Trevor that high on the list.
Yeah. And you think Brock and CJ are down there at 7 and 8. And like we said, you could easily argue that any of those guys could be moved up. But it's the importance of the position, and I think it's what they –
Well, I think it's also like where you started. Right. I mean,
well, that's true too.
Trevor was thought to be a generational prospect, and so you're always going to have that in your head. And Brock's always going to be the last pick in the draft, so there's a little bit of that too. But no, I mean, listen, all those dudes. If you've got any of those dudes, you're in a good spot. Jacksonville's in a good spot. Jacksonville, like, just keep the main thing. Build around Trevor. Create, you know, like they're doing down there, a home environment that is unique and special. And just let Trevor do what he needs to do. He's going to struggle at times, but at the end of the day, like you're not going to be able to go out and get an improvement over Trevor.
No, there's way more upside than
he
has the turnovers. We get it, the 60 turnovers. There's way more upside than any negative.
Oh, it's not even close. I mean, it's not. You're years. I heard somebody say yesterday. I think it was Dan Orlovsky, I believe, talking about.
Yeah, we played that soundbite. Yeah.
Man, come on. Like, I mean, he is if $50 million quarterbacks exist in the NFL, and we're talking about paying for future production, then he is a $50 million quarterback.
Whether you like it or not,
pretty dang simple. Just like Brock Purdy is a $50 million quarterback.
And the only thing that made me laugh just a little bit about Orlovsky saying is like, I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna prove them wrong, and then I'm gonna go. No, if you have a contract that's being put in front of you right now that will be very close to that, you don't wait.
No,
you take.
No, and you also just go look at what the salary cap does and the percentage of what that salary cap is, and what a $30 million quarterback was 3 years ago is what a $50 million quarterback is now. Yeah. They haven't assigned more assets to the quarterback. It's just the chunk of money got bigger.
All right, Brody, good stuff as always. We appreciate it. At Denny_Thompson, 6 points. You know he's got it going on when it comes to quarterbacks. We appreciate it. It's XL Primetime. We're going to wrap our show, get ready for the Frangie Show coming up.
Cruising with XL Prime Time in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. More videos, more podcasts, more Jaguars, preps, and college football. More of everything you love about Jacksonville sports at 1010XL.com.
For Military Appreciation Month, Nimnik Chevrolet pauses to honor and express our deepest gratitude to the brave service members and their families who sacrificed so much for our country. Frank Frangie here. As a token of their appreciation, Nimnik Chevrolet is extending a special offer. $1,000 total cash allowance to all military personnel and their families on select new vehicles. So shop online at nimnikchevy.com or visit the dealership located on the corner of Park and Cassett. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Every day is a Big Chief Tire Day at 1010XL. Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Our friends at Big Chief Tire are all about ensuring your safety and peace of mind on the road. Right now, they're offering $50 off a new set of tires so you can finally take care of that tire replacement you have been putting off. Plus, enjoy free tire repairs and replacements for up to 3 years with their protection plan. Visit BigChiefTire.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment at any one of their 5 locations. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
To get this thing unwrapped here. Duval!
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, Dan. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Celebrate Memorial Day weekend at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Don't miss incredible deals like 50% bonus trade-in on all new clubs. Buy any 2 apparel items and receive a 3rd free. And save big on shoes, bags, carts, and travel covers. The more you buy, the more you save. Shop with us this Memorial Day weekend, in store or online. Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 22nd, 1930, Yankees Baseball Future Hall of Fame first baseman Lou Gehrig had 3 hits, all being home runs, as the Yankees go on to beat the Philadelphia A's 20-13.
This week only, it's the Memorial Day clearance sale at Art of Natural Stone, with 2 locations on Beach Boulevard and on Phillips Highway. To make room for new product, they're offering clearance sale pricing on pavers, stones, gravel, and travertine. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your outdoor space with top quality materials at clearance sale prices. This week only at Art of Natural Stone on Beach Boulevard and on Phillips Highway, open Sunday and Monday.
I'm Ben from Beard's Diamonds. My father and I buy our stones direct from the diamond cutters. No middleman, no big company overhead, no commission salespeople, and we pass the savings on to you. Before you buy anywhere else, remember, Beard's Diamonds will beat any competitor's price.
In the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From Roll-and Lock bed covers to Lear toppers to Cam Locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
At Duck Duck Air Conditioning, we understand the importance of having a properly functioning air conditioning system, especially in hot and humid climates like Florida. That's why we offer a wide range of services, including installation, repair, maintenance, and replacement of all types of air conditioning systems. The Duck Duck Air Conditioning team is available 24/7, so you can count on us to be there when you need us the most. Contact us today to schedule your service and experience the Duck Duck difference. 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckac.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Who lit it up last night? Brought to you by American-Electrical.com.
Turnover on the first possession. Tatum throws it ahead to Brown. Brown throws it down and takes a tough tumble.
Tatum trying to get free. Throwing in the corner. Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Bang! Jaylen Brown knocks down the three to tie the game. Look, I know there are a lot of great calls, but bang is about as good as it gets. It was just a great finish last night. There's no question. When you watched Indiana come into the Garden, almost steal. I don't think you can call it the Garden anymore, but you know what I'm saying. And almost steal that game and ultimately kind of get run in the overtime period and look back and think about what they could have had, a 1-0 lead and the way it would have unfolded. And think about this game. It kind of went up and down. There were red-hot moments, ice-cold moments. They zipped back into contention when it looked like basically they're knotted right around, what was it, 64 all at the half, RJ? Can you remember? It was right around there.
Right around there.
And so then it looks like Boston's going to pull away in the third period, and then they come jetting back, make a couple of big time plays on both sides of the floor. They close the gap, and then it looks like they're going to actually handle their business. Then they mishandle the basketball, actually lose the handle on the basketball. So it had a lot of stuff in it last night, and we'll see if Game 2 tomorrow night can deliver much the same. Who lit it up? Thanks to American Electrical. They are powered by professionalism, and if you want to see what they can do in terms of lighting up your world, automation, generators, just you name it, they certainly can handle it, residential and commercial. Check out American-Electrical.com. We need to fire off our shift change horn because I know we got guys in the warehouse at American Electrical about ready to shut it down because they're stocking trucks. There you go. Yeah. They're about ready to shut it down. Maybe go get them a cold one. So shout out to American Electrical. All right, as we wrap our show up and get ready for the Frangie show, we talked a lot about what could potentially come out of at least a filing of a lawsuit from Jaden Rashada against Billy Napier, high-ranking booster, one of the biggest boosters that the University of Florida has, along with a guy that was in charge inside of handling the
Hugh
IL.
Hathcock is the booster.
Yeah. And we talked about that. We talked about a handful of other things in the college game. Now let's finish up with at least a little bit that's going on with the ACC, one of the first to bring this down. Give us that, RJ, just so we can repeat what is coming down the pike with a couple of the Power 4 conferences.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So the ACC and the Big 12 presidents agreed to be part of the process to pay former players for their playing, pay for play for former players in the House versus the NCAA suit, which is going to end up being about $2.8 billion in back pay for players.
Explain why this is key, because I always like to give people, what's the what.
So they all have to agree to it. They all have to agree to that. It's been negotiated, and all the conferences have to agree to it. The sticking point is right now there. So it's like let me get the exact numbers.
Because the best thing I want to explain to people what's the what.
The power conferences are going to pay about $664 million in contributions to the 2.8. Okay. The other 27 non-power conferences are going to pay about $990 million.
Okay, now this is to past players. Explain
to
that
past
part
players.
Of it too.
This is to past players who would have earned money on NIL, but were not allowed to use their name, image, and likeness because the NCAA legally kept it from them.
And this had been going on now, litigation-wise, as far
for
as
years. For years. If you can remember,
Ed O'Bannon.
Go all the way back to Ed O'Bannon in that case. When he admitted he wasn't going to class. Yeah,
UCLA basketball player that basically said, if you're going to have EA Sports or whomever it was at the time, if you're going to have these NCAA video games, we ought to share in the revenue. And then it took forever for that to be decided. They finally ruled on his behalf. And so now this is where we're at.
So now a House case, which is part of that process, it's not the same case.
Mm-hmm.
But it's part of that process. Now this has reached to the point of now they're negotiating. They've settled on a number, $2.8 billion,
right,
for previous players. They have to have everybody sign off on it. So the ACC president signed off on it, Big 12 president signed off on it, and there's no doubt that the SEC and the Big 10 presidents will sign off on it. The only pushback is from the rest of the conferences, and this being the basketball conferences as well as the minor football conferences.
Which you're talking about
2.5 of the $2.8 billion is going to be paid to football and basketball players. The other $300 million will be paid to lesser sports.
Okay, and then my guess is, and you've been covering this and following this, is that once you arrive at a number and an agreement and all the Power 4 schools and everybody else that is now involved in this monetarily, the next step is, okay, you paid the past players, now let's get to paying the players.
Correct.
That's the next natural step.
And that's coming very, very soon.
Like a locomotive.
Like my guess would be that beginning next year, the players are going to have a revenue sharing agreement with, and it's not the NCAA because it's not going to be the NCAA. The players will have a revenue sharing agreement with whatever they call it, whatever they call that association that they become.
Right.
Because the Power 5 schools are not, they're technically part of the NCAA, but only as far as enforcement. And even now, the NCAA has given up on enforcement as far as NIL. So there's literally nothing going on right now. So they are by themselves. Whatever they end up calling themselves, the College Football Playoff Association, whatever it is, that's going to be it. That will be the group that is part of under the umbrella of paying the players. And each of these schools is going to have to commit to it. Like you're going to have to commit to having I think it's somewhere around $23 million annually, a budget for paying players.
Okay.
And if you don't have that $23 million annually, or you don't want to commit to it, then you're not part of the group.
And the problem, not the problem that will be front and center, but it is going to be a big piece of this. How is it split up? Is it even share? Is it just revenue producing players? All these questions still have to be answered.
Yeah, the thing with how is it split up for the previous? We're talking about the House versus the NCAA case.
No, I'm talking
that will
about
all be a
going
flat
forward.
rate. So
that'll be a flat rate too.
Whatever Trevor Lawrence gets is going to be what. I don't know how far back they're going. Let's just say whatever Trevor Lawrence gets is going to be what AJ Green gets. Okay.
Yeah.
So moving forward, however, they haven't decided that yet. That's kind of going to be the minutia of the problem.
And I would love to know. And when you say, I don't even know how we actually arrived at this, say, $23 million annually. I don't know how did they get there? Is that coming up with a rough number of each player getting?
My guess is it's coming up with an average number per player.
Yeah.
But there's no way you're not going to pay Tua Tagovailoa, $40,000 annually to be your quarterback, and then pay another guy who's on the bench and does nothing in $40,000. That's I don't see that happening. I just can't see that happening. Now, it might happen. It might end up being that way, and it might be a slight step down. But I don't know why, if you're a player, you would agree to something like that, because it's based on your value. And if they're only going to give you a certain amount of money, a certain percentage of the overall percent of the money they take in, you want to get your value.
Okay.
So there's still a long way to go. I mean, it's going to happen, but it's a matter of the details of how it comes out.
Yeah, that means there's still going to be more people.
Yeah, I mean, they still don't know if they're going to be technically be employees or not. They still don't know if they're going to be collectively bargaining, but it's coming quickly. They're working on all of that right now.
Yeah, that's interesting for sure. We'll keep an eye on it. We will. And you football fans, basketball fans, just college fans in general, definitely want to keep an eye on that one. That's for sure. We're done. We say thanks to the Golf Club of Southampton. You can head on out there this afternoon, 2-8-7 play. Get on the tee sheet. Come on out, 9 after 5. Good game, great food, all the fun that you would expect when you're hanging out with your buds, your family, whomever it might be. 2-8-7 play. Call the Golf Club of Southampton. Go out there tonight or go out any day of the week and enjoy a great golf course and a great bunch of people. We are done. Joe C., Matt Hayes will have Big Search back with us mañana. RJ Saunders making it all happen. We got the Francis Show coming up next.
I'm a pretty big peanut.